Hey, brother. No. What's up? How much? In total is I got you. I got you. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. Top of the day, beautiful people. Hold on. Just handling some business stuff real quick. All right. We'll put this together. I did that, Elijah.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, son. Love you. Have a wonderful day.
Likewise.
All right. All right, beautiful people. Let's get this started. Hold on. Audrey, shalom, shalom. Vinegary reading. Shebrew. Hey, yeah, hey. All praises to the creator. Dare CM, shalom. Kendrick, shalom, shalom. And everybody up here on YouTube hanging out in the background. Hold on. Let me bring on Facebook. Can y'all hear me? I got it muted. Y'all hear what I just said? Maybe it still records if it's muted from my end. Because I was so muted. Could y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Okay, well, I'm glad it still records when I'm, operator error going on. Hannah, shalom, shalom. Mom, shalom. Auntie, shalom. Okay. Hold on. Sometimes Sometimes Facebook be scaring me with the way they got this laid out newly. I can't even hit the record button from the actual Facebook app. I gotta go to like the business app now to even hit live. I don't know if anybody else has tried it, if that's happening to them. Nephew, what's going on, Prince Yehuda? You call me auntie. All right, nephew. All right, beautiful people. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all. Well, we took a day off, right? We observed Sabbath yesterday. I don't know if y'all did, but if you did, I hope it was a peaceful one. If you haven't observed it yet, may yours be peaceful when it get here, right? We all learning, we adjusting according to our highest light, right? Okay. Oh, y'all, like we for real almost done. Like the glossary begins on, matter of fact, Book of Aranothan is the appendix, and it begins on page 765. The glossary begins on 769, which I need to say something. Nabdeezy, Grand Rising. Okay, so let me do this and then I ask y'all this. All right, y'all. Happy Wednesday. It is, what is my, hold on. What is that? Because I ain't turned on the light. Yep, that was why. Okay, it is Wednesday, October the 19th, 2022, day 240 of year 4, reading through the books of the law and the prophets. Under the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1,259. We're picking back up in Ohaspe in the book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth, and also the book of Shalam, which is included within the book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth. And in big blue, that's on page 761. Online, it is chapter 21, which is chapter XXI. And in all of the versions is I think it's still chapter 21, but here is chapter 21, XXI in Roman numerals. All right, y'all. Father, we thank you that you are infinite possibilities. Okay. Now, seeing that we really about to be done with this for real, let me ask y'all something. I know I said I was going to, but I got a response from the publishers of Ohaspe day before yesterday, and I requested a copy of Radiance. This still looks dark on Facebook. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. I paused. They're gonna probably be like, "What happened?" Okay, that's better. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, we back. I'm sorry. The light had went down on Facebook, at least on my end. Okay. So the author, well, not the author, the publisher of the lowest edition, they your ladies mentioned that we could get a copy of Radiance. So I actually followed the instructions that's on the page where it tells you that they'll send you a copy of it. And they responded like in like 4 hours to me. And to let them know, I guess they say it's the honor system. Like they say, if you've already purchased a copy of this via straight from their website or via Amazon, and they're going to take you on the honor system. They actually got that in parentheses. They got honor system that they would send you a copy of the Book of Radiance. So I let them know that I truly indeed do have a copy of it, and they could go to my website, not the website, but the YouTube channel to prove it, right? But anyway, they went right. So they went, and they said it's absolutely amazing. We think it's amazing that you are reading this every morning. And I also told them that when we get done, we was gonna start over, and that we was even gonna read through the glossary and the index, And so they responded with they think it's amazing, and they put me on the list to send me a copy of Radiance. But then they said, question, are you really going to read the glossary and the index? They said, and then they put emojis like, kind of boring. Won't you lose some listeners? All right, son. And I responded, I said, you know what, you might be right. So let me ask them if they want me to read the glossary and the index. So that was the whole point of all of this. Since we're about done, and the glossary begins on page 769. Right now, we're on page 731, and we'll be done reading this completely with the exception of that. I know most of y'all got it. Do y'all want me to read through the glossary and the index, or just go ahead and start it over? Y'all let me know.
I realize nothing. But in my dream, right?
Boy,
it's not long. So in my dream,
listen,
I'm sorry.
Are you like asking for advice? Because can't this wait till after live?
No, this is the crazy thing. I got advice through a dream.
Okay.
Like front face advice.
Okay,
so
know that how it
basically,
happens.
You know how it was like a churchy vibe, right? Churchy vibe. I was walking down the hallway. I was chilling, right? I was like, I don't know who I was hanging with, but I know it was family. It was going through, and then I see this room. I'm like,
I got some mixed answers here.
Something that was pulling me. Something was pulling me to the room. But I said, hold on, I'll catch up with y'all later. I walked in the room. Come to find out, it's Biz sitting there, chilling.
I'm taking a tally of your answers. Go ahead, I'm listening. I hear you. Well, it might be better if you just wait till after I'm done, Jeremiah.
This is dream fresh out.
Go write it down. That's how you remember it. Go write it down and record yourself. Record a video of yourself telling that dream. It's like
that. It's like I'm literally I'm at the end.
Okay, hurry up.
But Biz sitting there, he was chilling. He in his suit, he got his jacket over his arm. He's chilling. His how Biz was sitting the professional way. He would be sitting, and there was a candle beside him. And I saw him. I was like, "Oh, what's good, Biz?" No, I walked up to him and
I got more start overs. We can read it on our own. I'm just saying.
he dapped me up and he said, I forgot what he said. But I said, what brings you here? And he ended up telling me, I don't know what really brought me here, but I realized I've missed a couple of years. And I was like, what you mean? My advice to you is this. Do not rush anything and slow down. And I was like, but I don't think I'm rushing anything. He said, you're rushing a lot. Slow down.
That is wise advice. Because I agree with some stuff you was trying to rush. I'm like, boy, you only 19. You need some more life experience. Yeah, take that to the bank. Is that all? I mean, I hate to sound like I'm pushing you out of here because that wouldn't be cool as a mother. Can we like actually talk about it?
Oh, you good.
Okay.
Now that I said that, I'm on it.
Okay, like, okay, because he feel like he got to tell me everything right then and there. I mean, okay, some things you do like life and death, emergency. Oh my gosh, mom, I don't know. Yes, those please interrupt me, but
you never know. It could have been that.
Right, that's why I'm like, okay, can it? I'm just trying to decipher. You just excited to tell me that you got advice from your dream. Okay, all right. So it looks like, according to the tally, it looks like we got a lot of start overs. We can read the glossary and the index on our own. So, Prince, you got a copy of Big Blue? Because I don't know if I think the glossary is actually online. Don't quote me on that. Just double check if you're looking from the online. Okay, all right. So just go through when you get a chance. Just go through the glossary on your own, bro. Because everybody's saying start over, right? So I think we're gonna start over. All right. Now that we got that said, also, Jamia, Shalom, Ema, set apart living, top of the day. Who else came in? Yeah, Kendrick, Shalom. She said start over. Okay. All right. And everybody else. Nene, Shalom. Oh, look. Facebook said start over. She said, I'm ready to start over because I'm just getting started. Okay, yeah. Some people want to hear it from the beginning, right? And I know everybody got their book, but it's just more fun when we come together and read, right? Says Facebook. And I already greeted everybody hanging out in the background. Grace, spirit, peace, and blessings. All right, y'all. So let's get started. I did say, Ema, I'm not sure if you saw my response to your message. But I'm gonna call you. Yes, you can. Go wash your face and brush your teeth, do all that stuff. I'll call you when I'm ready. I'll call you when we get okay. I'll call you when I get done. But I also have like a bit of wisdom that I was thinking about, like while we're doing this, just to let everybody else in, because we're gonna deal with some of these points. People who have not read the Ohaspe actually took time and read it through. They're bringing out some points. They decided to do the research on the author of it first. So they don't like what they're seeing from the author, which is deterring them from actually reading the information and judging it for themselves, right? So we got to deal with some of these points that they bring up. Now, I thought about something after I read your email. Your message, Iman, right? And I think it's something we probably should incorporate with all the videos that we do. When we talk about it, we want to make sure that we're making the titles as what's the word? SEO friendly, and the tabs and all of that stuff. I don't know if I should say that. I mean, I don't know. It ain't like we're trying to hide anything, but I think we need to get ahead of all of those videos that are doing videos about John Newborough, right? Because they're sending out half-cocked information, right? I'm not saying that the pointers that they're bringing out are wrong, because what they're bringing out is facts, right? There is absolute facts what they're bringing out, but it's from the perspective without looking at everything. They're just giving you one side of the story. So I think because we've read it, we about done reading, and some of us have been reading it for a while. If any of us know how to do SEO, right? This is how we can get ahead of this all the junk that you see first when you Google John Newborough. Let's do him a solid, even though when he passed away, he had kind of cut the line of light from the Father, and it's just it's unfortunate things that happen, and that tends to happen sometimes, right? It just depends on the personal highest light of the person and how they develop and whether they listen to the Father on wisdom and apply it or not. I think we need to get ahead of everything that's being put out there, right? And I think when we do it, his name needs to be in a title. We need to do the tags and the SEO stuff behind the scenes to make sure when people start Googling, because more people are Googling Ohaspe and John Newborough, we need to flood out all of the bad stuff that they're putting up, right? So that happens by when we do the videos, or whoever does it, who's given a rounded understanding of what happened when they're dealing with the information. That means y'all put comments. Like, I mean, ain't like y'all don't do that. Put comments in the chat. Put comments under the video after the video was done. Right? Do the tags. Do it in the description block. The SEO tags in the description box and in the title. The title needs to be positioned when the video first start. The name, all of this stuff need to be said, right? So I guess when we get together, we kind of talk about this. This way we can help the algorithm to where it really should be with solid, well-rounded information where people can make a choice looking at everything, good and bad. Let them choose. Let's not just give them all the bad, making them think this is it, because it's not it, right? He wrote books before he penned Ohaspe. He wrote books after he penned Ohaspe. Some of them before he penned Ohaspe, like spiritualists and stuff, they're looking into that and his thought process and his reason and all of this stuff. They're just taking all of this and lumping it all together, just like us, right? Some things we believe last year, we do not believe this year. Like you can tell some of the things in spiritualists or whatever, some of that stuff just kind of doesn't apply, but they ain't even saying none of that. They're just putting it all together. See this, and here he just adding to this and this. I'm just like, you're not really giving him a fair shake, right? And sure, he dead and gone, but we here and we reaping the benefits and the bad stuff with everything. So with all this in us, I think because we can, and it really doesn't take that much time, it's really easy to do, especially those that this is what you do all day. You might be able to help out in it. I mean, I dabbled in it a little bit and I know how to bring up the algorithms a little, but I think it's a nice group of us and we can do it with a concerted effort. So those who's actually coming and really searching for truth, when they come up, at least they get balanced information. It may take a few days to adjust in the YouTube algorithm and Google algorithm and even in Facebook, right? But if it's there, if we get more information than them out there, then it'll tip the scales, right? But it'll tip it in the direction of righteousness and solidness, so where people can make a real choice, right? And look at the good and look at the bad, not just people just talking trash. But those of us who love the words and the inspiration and the spiritual growth that we got from it, those of us on this side, but also we're not just blindly taking everything. We have considered all the other stuff that came out and what happened in Shalam. I think we need to make John Newborough a case study on whether he kept to what he learned or not. And in I ain't gonna say a lot of cases. Some cases we can clearly see it's been documented. And it's listen, the original plates, they said some of the stuff from my research, some of the stuff that he penned, it was destroyed. But the original plates that were the original plates for the first printer that he gave, like the first copies for the first edition, those plates have been preserved and they're in New Mexico, right? So if we got anybody here that just happened to be in New Mexico, that link that I shared with you the day before yesterday, I'll share it. Was it that link? No, it wasn't that link. I'm gonna share it. But if anybody here, I hope somebody here in New Mexico, because hopefully somebody here. But with that information too, and I'm gonna call them today. Hopefully, I don't know. I got to figure out the time zone and all this stuff. But I want to call them because that information, they have it in their it's like their Library of Congress. But they said that information can be viewed under supervision. I'm like, under supervision? What in the world? So it's there, but you can't like just, hey, let me just get a copy. I don't think they're gonna let you get a copy of it. While you while you're getting access to it, you're being supervised. So, and it's not in print. I've been searching. Maybe y'all can look and find, but I want to see what was on them original plates, right? I want to check out the name that was used in reference to the creator, like all of this stuff. I mean, I even look, we supposed to be going to Mexico next summer. I even did the address search, the direction on how far apart this library in New Mexico is from Mexico. It's like another whole day drive. I'm like, yeah, that probably won't happen. So hopefully somebody in Mexico is here. I'm just saying, because you do us a favor and go down there and pull this up. I'm gonna give y'all the link and stuff to this, right? Y'all, let's help everybody out, right? So we can actually see. But anyway, your mama call you after this. Let's get started. And Angela said, I'll be happy to help if needed. That means you know how to do SEO, sis. You know how to do SEO. I'm gonna wait for your answer too. Selah, shalom, shalom. You know how to do SEO? Yes, sweet. Okay. All right, y'all. Yeah. So, all right, let's get started. Page 731. You made it, Yahweh. Shalom. Page 731, chapter 21, or chapter XXI in Roman numerals, and the subtitle is Of the Voice of Jehovah. So remember, the last couple of days we were talking about the 6-year-olds and the 12-year-olds was birth to 6-year-olds, and then when they get to the age of 14, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, these 14, I ain't gonna say the 14-year-olds, the 6-year-old babies will put us to shame, Jeremiah.
So you telling me what? No, hold on.
Yeah, no, just I'm not about to do this with you right now. If you weren't present, go back and watch the video. You go read it. I'll tell you what the chapters.
Wait, so you told me the full videos is just you doing the Ohaspe and nothing else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you positive? No.
Am I positive? What?
Witnesses. Is it only this book? If so, I just need just a blank yes.
What do you mean? Is it only this book?
Are you just reading this, or are you just magic? Are you pulling something else from out of there?
No. What I'm talking about is strictly what we learning from here. Yeah, strictly from here. I ain't mixing nothing. I mean, my highest light up until this point, but mainly out of here, we testing all things. Okay, son. Okay.
So it's just an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Verse 1, page 731, y'all. This is the sermon of the voice as delivered in Shalam to such as were admitted on trial, to wit, my voice is with all men, saith Jehovah. Whoso is admonished against wrongdoing hath heard me. By that shall he know my presence. The man of Uz crieth out in mockery. Who hath heard Jehovah? Do the faithless say they have heard the Creator's voice? How can an empty space speak? We good? Oh, okay. I saw that movie. I just wanted to make sure I was still on and y'all could hear me. Okay. Verse 4. The man of Uz crieth out in mockery. Who hath heard Jehovah? Do the faithless say they have heard the Creator's voice? How can an empty space speak? But I am sufficient unto all my creations. The ant heareth me, and the bee, the bird and the spider, and all manner of living things which I created. How think ye they hear me, learning to do my will? How think ye they hear me, learning to do my will? Go I to them with lips and tongue, or with a trumpet. I am spirit. I am the soul of hold on, let me just go back. Verse 6. How think ye they hear me, learning to do my will? Go I to them with lips and tongue, or with a trumpet? I am spirit. I am the soul of things. By way of the soul is my voice unto every living creature that I created. But man locketh up his soul and will not hear me. He heedeth that which cometh upon his corporal senses, and this darkness groweth upon him, generation after generation. Then he cried out, where is Jehovah? Who hath heard him? Perhaps the ancients, but none in this day. Jehovah saith, I am as one on the top of a mountain, calling to all people to come up to me. But they hearkened to darkness at the foot of the mountains, calling them down in corpor. Now behold, whatsoever thou hearest, or seest, or readest, or any indulgence that raiseth thee upward, the same is my voice unto thee. But whatsoever thou hearest, or seest, or readest, that casteth thee downward, is the voice of darkness. Whoso studieth to know the right shall hear me. Whoso striveth to be all truth to himself and to others already heareth my voice. That's good. Read that again. Nazarene faith is peace, family. Tigva, hey girl, hey. Nazarene Yahoo, Grand Rising. Verse 12, page 731. Now behold, whatsoever thou hearest, or seest, or readest, any indulgence that raiseth thee upward, the same is my voice unto thee. But whatsoever thou hearest, or seest, or readest, that casteth thee downward, is the voice of darkness. So anything that raises you higher in spirit, the Father said it comes from him. Anything opposite of that, that takes you lower into the depths of darkness, into your flesh, into corporal, he said those come from the voices of darkness, right? Whoso studieth to know the right shall hear me. Whoso striveth to be all truth to himself and to others already heareth my voice. Whoso indulgeth in anger or vengeance or in wrongdoing casteth a veil up betwixt me and himself. He shutteth out my voice. And it's a lot of people who want to debate that's doing just that. And it's like, how can we really take you serious from the very beginning, right? You showing all the attributes of that our Father says is opposite, that's in direct opposition with him. First, so why you got, who mugs that? Because it looked like it belongs to one or two people, me or your daddy. You better get one of them glass clear mugs, put our mug back. Pour it out. Put it in a glass mug. I don't care.
It ain't gonna fit.
Yes, it will.
6 ounces.
You see the whole shelf? All our souvenir mugs and stuff. Once it has our name, I mean, don't touch. Yeah. All of that shelf is off limits. Ugh, don't pour it. Look in here. Look in here. In there. Get a glass one. I'm sorry. That's probably petty, but.
Very.
Where is the?
There you go. Boom. There you go. Yep. There you go. I don't know. Whoso indulgeth in anger or vengeance or in wrongdoing casteth a veil up betwixt me and himself. He shutteth out my voice. It is a talent to hear me. I bestow it upon all the living. It is seated in the soul. By cultivation, it groweth. Yea, it becometh mighty above all other talents. By its culture, man attaineth to all possibilities, so I created him. When my voice is weak, because the darkness of man, he calleth me conscience, or setteth me aside as a faint impression. But with culture, behold, my voice cometh to man with words and with power. And he knoweth me, and is mighty in good works and wisdom. And he becometh a proof before the world that my voice is with him. Jehovah said, whoso hath not heard me is in darkness indeed. He who hath not yet turned his thoughts inward to purify himself and seek wisdom. Whoso hath heard me knoweth it, and all the world cannot convince him to the contrary. All right, y'all, next chapter. Miss Amazing Wonders, Grand Rising. All right, y'all, chapter XXII, or chapter 22, page 732. This was commanded unto the inhabitants of Shalam, to wit, ye shall not persuade any adult to come into the Father's kingdom. That looked like direct opposition to what we see in the New Testament, right? Go out and make disciples of all, But here, It looks like it's saying more to me. You first be the light. And if you're light enough, you would draw people unto you. That's just my summation of everything, right? I'll start over. And that makes good sense to me. Let us look at your life and see what it's doing for you, and let us choose whether we want to come hither. Key, hey girl, hey. This was commanded unto the inhabitants of Shalam, to wit, ye shall not persuade any adult to come into the Father's kingdom, but ye shall say unto whoso cometh your way, come and see us. See, I just said that. Look, I just said it in my summation. But ye shall say unto whoso cometh your way, come, see us, and judge thou in thine own way what is best for thee and the world. Others shall come to Shalam, inquiring for curiosity's sake, and for the sake of relating mischievous falsehoods founded on a grain of truth. Therefore be ye guarded, saying to such, the time of word doctrines is at an end. Examine thou and judge as thou wilt. Others will seek to convict you of self-righteousness. Therefore, if they inquire after this manner, to wit, say ye, the faithists are immaculate, or say ye all others are wrong, then shall ye answer them, saying, nothing mortal is immaculate. And as to others, we are not their judges. Go thou to Jehovah and inquire of him. Sufficient unto us is it to do all the good we can, having faith in Jehovah. Some will seek to trap you on the subject of marriage, inquiring after this manner, to wit, say ye, celibacy is higher than marriage, or is marriage the higher? What say ye of marriage and of divorce? To these ye shall answer after this manner, we are no man's keeper, neither say we whether celibacy or marriage is the higher. We give liberty unto all who serve. We give liberty unto all. We give liberty unto all to serve Jehovah on that matter in their own way. One marriage only do we permit to any man or woman. And though one or the other die, yet the survivor cannot marry again. I know a lot of people got questions on this, and thankfully I have not been in this situation, but some people are, and they got some very legitimate questions. Like, well, what if the spouse died when you were younger, you were still in childbearing years, and you haven't had children? I don't know. You ask me, I'm be like, I don't know. Let us go search together. I didn't had all my children in childbearing years. I don't know. So, right, I ain't gonna sit here and try and answer something that I'm still iffy on myself. But I'm gonna read verse 10 again. To these, hold on, let me go back. Verse 9. No, verse 8. Some will seek to trap you on the subject of marriage, inquiring after this manner, to wit, say ye, celibacy is higher than marriage, or is marriage the higher? What say ye of marriage and of divorce? To these ye shall answer after this manner, we are no man's keeper, neither say we whether celibacy or marriage is the higher. We give liberty unto all to serve Jehovah on that matter in their own way. One marriage only do we permit to any man or woman, and though one or the other die, yet the survivor cannot marry again. And as to such as are married, they can, at the option of either one, to return to celibacy by being publicly proclaimed in the temple of Jehovah. And if they inquire of you as to leadership, saying, who is the leader? Who is the highest? Who is the head? Ye shall answer them, saying, Jehovah. We have no man leader, no man who is higher than another. We are brothers and sisters. They will press you, inquiring, some men can do more work, some men are stronger, some men are wiser. Now, therefore, how do you grade them, that excellence may be known and respected? To these ye shall reply, saying, all men are Jehovah's. He designed the strong ones to carry the heavier burdens than the weak. He designed the wise ones to teach the less wise. Why then shall we give any preference to one over another? They are not ours, but Jehovah's. Sufficient it is for us to do our own parts with all our wisdom and strength. Now that is how you answer somebody. Like, it's like they gonna find, if they don't get it, they don't understand that, they're just gonna be like, all right, I see we ain't getting no answers from you. Let's ask them, right? And they're gonna keep spewing the same foolish questions over and over again without actually giving thought to what is being said, not realizing freedom has been given to all and we don't lord over anybody, right? We help one another, we help raise one another up. Even if you don't like us, even if you hate our guts, we don't care. We still gonna love you anyhow. We're gonna respect you. We're gonna treat you just like a brother and a sister, right? And if they're older, we give them respect of mothers and fathers, or fathers and mothers. Some people don't like the order, but fathers and mothers, right? The point is show them respect. Chapter 23 or chapter XXIII.
Wait, I was about to say, something I know the vast majority of parents are not going to agree with. Just when it says respect your mother and father, it also says don't provoke your child.
It does say that, doesn't it? And I would agree with that, right?
That's the thing. I actually had to dig to get that. Do not provoke your child to anger. I was like,
leave it up to Mr. Jeremiah to pull up this stuff. Jeremiah, he's like Jeremiah is really wise for his age. But he's like, how some people sometimes play like the devil's advocate. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because it helps us to look at all the everything, all the information. He was like, how I say respect your father and mother. Some people need to read a little bit further. What'd you say?
It also says don't provoke your child into anger.
Right, it does say that. He said it, but it also says don't provoke your child to anger. I'm like, you absolutely right, son. Right there are some parents who actually provoke their children. They really, I'll call it an abuse of power. They really do, right? They provoke their children. Now you got teenagers that's ready. I mean, you got some that's smelling themselves anyway and just ready to fight you for whatever. But you do have some parents that really get out of pocket. Like it's what you're doing is unimaginable. Like, what is wrong with you? You're acting like a child, right? And they really provoke the children. And sometimes the children, especially if they're older, they feel the need to protect themselves, right? And then the situation just it just goes downhill from there. Okay, yeah, we're on page 732, chapter 23 or chapter XXIII, if you're using like an electronic version without page numbers. Uncle JB, Grand Rising. Yeah, these are the rules for Shalam, right? I like something. Who was it? I think it was when the ladies were on. Somebody mentioned this, and I think Ohaspe College Universities. He brought it out. He said these are the rules of Shalam. So like these are like always ongoing in the community of Shalam. But when you're not in Shalam, some people would seem to think that these don't apply, and technically they don't apply to those who are not living within the community. But if you are a member of the community or aspiring to be, not that you have to go, let me get my membership over here, but it shouldn't just be a community. It should be a lifestyle. That's what I believe Shalam is. And as we begin a lifestyle, it'll just spread over the earth, right? And it'll be in multiple communities, right? So whatever you wouldn't do inside of Shalam, you should also not do outside of Shalam. And those things that you uphold and keep while you're in Shalam, you should do it everywhere you go. It should be your normal character, your normal way of living, not just, I don't smoke when I'm over here, but when I get over here, let's pass it, right? It should be your way of life. And if you're struggling with it, then just be honest. Look, I ain't got that yet. I'm going to keep puffing until I feel like I don't want to anymore. Be honest, right? Not to anybody that smoke. And I was really talking about cigarettes or whatever, but any kind of foul smoke you take it within your chest. But we're just gonna move on from there, right? Chapter 23. And Jeremiah. In course of time, the first heirs of Shalam came to maturity and to marriageable ages, and since they had been guarded as to diet and as to controlling their passions, they were unlike Uzians in their general characteristics, because they had never known to say, "This is mine and that is mine." They were without selfishness or selfish desires, looking upon all things as Jehovah's, and on themselves as laborers to render good unto others. They said, we are created in order to help rescue the world from darkness and to rejoice in our own lives because of such good as we can do unto others. Let me read it over. Let me just start at 1 again. In course of time, the first heirs of Shalam came to maturity and to marriageable ages. And since they had been guarded as to diet and as to controlling their passions, they were unlike Uzians in their general characteristics. Because they had never known to say, this is mine and that is mine, they were without selfishness or selfish desires, looking upon all things as Jehovah's and on themselves as the laborers to render good unto others. They said, we were created in order to help rescue the world from darkness and to rejoice in our own lives because of such good as we can do unto others. Behold, we were orphans and castaways. Jehovah wedded us to all the world, having therefore wisdom and purity within themselves, and withal having sufficient association to choose from, they did choose and wed for love's sake. Nor did any worldly ambition control their choice or influence them in hope of any gain as to their wedded partners. And it came to pass that the offspring begotten of these were indeed a new race in the world as to wisdom, love, purity, and spirituality, and new also as to beauty and shapeliness, the like of which had never been before in all the world. And they were by birth so developed in suis that when they were grown a little, education came to them without books. That's what we try to get to. And hopefully I can see little bits of that in my not just my grandchildren. I want to see it in my life. Right? Which I have seen little bits and pieces, right? Information coming through dreams and wisdom coming through dreams, and sometimes like downloads and visions. That happens in little bits and spurts for me, but I would like that to be an ongoing flow in my life. And I know for that to happen, there are some things that I just need to get, I need to tighten up. Right? We all need to tighten up for to have that ongoing flow. Because sometimes I'm sure there's some situations where we won't have the time to actually go research a matter. We have to be so in tune with the Father where we can just ask and have it downloaded to us. Or even before we ask, He knows what we have need of, knowing that this is coming. I'm going to go ahead and drop that down in your shanana. There you go, right? And sometimes when you start speaking stuff, it's like, because sometimes it happens to me, and I'm sure some of you, it happens sometimes to where it just, I think it's divine appointments that line up spiritually. Sometimes I may be talking to somebody, and the very first time I had this happen to me was when, and I mentioned this before, one of my female friends who nobody knew, she was actually being beat by her boyfriend who was in another department while we was on the ship. But I didn't know that at the time. And the moment when we was out to sea, I just kind of saw her looking downcast. I could tell she was trying to look normal, but I could tell that there was something off about her. And I just casually stopped and like, hey girl, and I could tell maybe she thought she was looking normal, right? But I could tell there was something going on. And it wasn't to, I say maybe like maybe a month, could have been a little longer than a month later, that at that moment when I saw her, she was going to take her life while we was out to sea on the ship. I did not know that, but when I stopped her, when I began to talk to her, and mind you, all I was doing while I was out to sea, because I had no distractions while I was out to sea. If I wasn't working or if I wasn't on the mess decks eating, I was in the berthing in my rack with my Bible open, praying, worship music. And this time, all I had was the Bible. All I had was, I had the KJV, but my go-to at that time was the NIV because I couldn't really understand the thus, thou, and art. So I'm just like, who can understand this crap? So I got one that was more my speed, but my heart was still pure. Nonetheless, I wanted to know the truth. So that's all I had. And that's what I knew at that time. My highest light, this is the truth. And that's what I had. And the Father spoke to me, right? Through the Bible, right? But when I came across her, I just stopped her, hey, just checking on and stuff. But what happened was because I was already in tune with the Father by constantly being out to sea, spending time with him, reading the Bible, meditating on what I read, doing a little research, and just making sure I'm understanding what I read. I didn't realize I had attuned myself to the keynote, whereby the keynote could flow through me and sing a song deep down to the depths of her shanana. And it was like me while I was talking to her. I want to say it was almost like it was like if you could have seen it in real time, you would have seen me step back from myself and stand beside her and watch me look at myself with the wisdom that was coming out of my mouth. I could hear it, but I was submitted to the Father where it was just flowing through me. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, girl, this ain't nothing. You didn't study nothing. What is happening? But it wasn't like this takeover, like I'm being possessed. It wasn't none of that, right? It was just I was the right person in the right place at the right time, and I didn't have time to go listen to no gossip or nothing because I always minded my business. I just happened to be the instrument at that time that crossed her path. She was literally going to kill herself at that moment when we was out to sea. And she didn't tell me that until a little bit over a month later. And I'm like, what? So, but it's things like, it's, it's things like that. It's like, I don't know, y'all. This is just amazing to me with the wisdom. Like we should be developing not just our flesh, but when it comes to things like this, we really need to be able to uh judge things spiritually without our feelings and flesh getting in the way. We should be able to judge information and test it with our own spirits, with our highest light. Because if you are truly searching after the Father and the truth, it doesn't matter where you at. You could get there and have a Quran. This is what I found out. You could be in any walk of life. You could have any book that people call their holy book. But if your heart is true, you're not just pinning yourself to this, but you start to get a little curious, is there more than this? The Father is there at all times, guiding you and leading you. It don't matter what labels people put on you, don't matter what religion you are in, right? The Father will still speak to you. And it's you can test and prove all these things. Look at the outcome, how it grows you, or whether if it doesn't grow you, right? Or if it caused your life to go down in a spiral, then you can judge for yourself. Maybe that information didn't come from the Father, right? Didn't come from our Creator. All right, so I don't even know how I got on that. Let me just go back. Let me keep reading, y'all. Shapeliness, open, wait, oh, I know what it was. The education coming directly without books. We was on verse 8. Okay, let's go back here. Oh yeah, that was the whole point of me bringing it up. Sometimes things like that is needed where you can get downloads and information without having to go talk to somebody or even getting books and trying to explain something for somebody, right? Listen. And they were by birth. So hold on, let me go back. Verse 7. And it came to pass that the offspring begotten of these were indeed a new race in the world, as to wisdom, love, purity, and spirituality, and new also as to beauty and shapeliness, the like of which had never been seen before in all the world. And they were by birth so developed in suis that when they were grown a little, education came to them without books, to see and to hear, either corporally or spiritually, was all they required in order to accomplish wisely all things required unto mortals. And with them the heavens were as an open book, the libraries of heaven as the sound of voices full of wisdom. This is where we're trying to get, y'all, right? Be so in tune with keynote that the heavenly library is just open unto us, right? And we could quit fighting over these little books that we got down here. It's like this is like prerequisites to everything that is like, let's see how they handle this a little bit. Let them decipher this. Let them separate truth and error, right? Because that's what we should be doing. We should be judging for ourselves according to our highest light at the moment. And when you get a little more light, or you master this foundation of light, you entrust it with a little bit more. So you faithful with what you got. Don't expect to get more. And with them, the heavens were as an open book, the libraries of heavens as the sound of voices full of wisdom. And the angels of ancient and modern times came and stood by them and walked with them, revealing the past and the future. And now the fame of Shalam and her people was spread abroad, and lo and behold, colonies were springing up in the east, west, north, and south. Hundreds of forest places and unoccupied lands were purchased and put under cultivation. The wisest and best people began to depart out of the cities of Uz, and many of the Uzians, lawyers, preachers, and priests and physicians, gave up their callings, and they went forth, saying, Alas, what good have I produced in the world? O Jehovah, teach thou me the way to work in one of thy kingdoms. And some of the rich gathered up their means, calling, Come, all ye poor and helpless. Behold, I have purchased land. Come hither and build a colony unto Jehovah. And judges and governors gave up their callings also, and went and joined the faithists, founding and practicing Jehovah's kingdom on earth. And kings and queens and emperors deserted their thrones and went and dwelt with the poor. So colonies of faithists in Jehovah spread in every direction, becoming the chief foundation of the state and of the world. I like that. Let me just go back. Listen, kind of like what we said, where Shalom is in you, right? You are Shalom. You should be the living peace walking around the earth, right? And some of the rich, let me just go back. Verse 11. And now the fame of Shalam and her people was spread abroad, and lo and behold, colonies were springing up in the east, west, north, and south. Hundreds of forest places and unoccupied lands were purchased and put under cultivation. The wisest and best people began to depart out of the cities of Uz. Many of the Uzians, lawyers, preachers, and priests and physicians gave up their callings, and they went forth, saying, Alas, what good have I produced in the world? O Jehovah, teach thou me the way to work in one of thy kingdoms. And some of the rich gathered up their means, calling, Come, O all ye poor and helpless. Behold, I have purchased land. Come hither and build a colony unto Jehovah. And judges and governors gave up their callings also, and went and joined the faithists, founding and practicing Jehovah's kingdom on earth. And kings and queens and emperors deserted their thrones and went and dwelt with the poor. So colonies of faithists in Jehovah spread in every direction, becoming the chief foundation of the state and of the world. And yet none of these colonies were bound by written laws, nor had any of them leaders or masters, nor any government save the light of Jehovah. And this is definitely one of the ways that the colony of John Newborough went wrong, right? Because they were slowly creeping in this same master slave type mentality thing going on in there, right? It's not to talk about it, but we want to watch out for these pitfalls and making sure we're really understanding what's happening, what we should and what we shouldn't be doing. Make sure we're not violating anybody. And yet none of these colonies were bound by written laws, nor had any of them leaders or masters, nor any government save the light of Jehovah. Nor was one colony bound by the customs and commands of another colony, but all of them lived by the highest light that came to them. Nor owned any man, woman, or child anything more than the clothes he or she wore, but all things were Jehovah's, in care of the keeping of the colony. Nor was there buying or selling between the colonies, but they exchanged with one another according to production and without any regard to value. And whosoever came and joined a colony, bringing gold or silver or valuable goods of any kind, donated them to Jehovah, and not to the colony, to be distributed according to the light thereof for the Father's kingdoms. Neither labor anyone for the colony, but for Jehovah. Nor did any colony hire any man nor woman nor child to work for them. Such then was Shalam and her example before the world of the Father's kingdom on earth. And I think a lot of times that's where we go wrong, right? Notice how it says that those who came and worked, or those who came and donated, they didn't donate it to the colony of Shalam. Although the colony of Shalam was the recipients of what they donated it to Jehovah. And they saw that this was a fit place to give this donation. So whatever y'all do with it, I mean, clearly we need to think about that too, because that's a principle, just like giving to the poor. Sometimes when we give to the poor, we enable them. right? It just depends. You have to be wise, because if they take what you donated to them and they get themselves in further poverty, I know that's not a word, but if it makes their life worse and it has the opposite effect of what you intended, you're going to be judged for that, right? Because you should have been wise enough to know that, yes, this is a good place to give this, or no, I'm going to hold on to this. You're not ready for this yet, right? That's like giving my keys to my truck to Bella. That I'm the law of the land, the courts of the land will hold me as a negligent parent by doing that, because you should have known. But I could say, well, that's my child. She can drive my car. What you said is facts, but you should have known she was not able to handle that yet. Now, you could have gave it to your 19-year-old. You could have gave it to the ones that have already been developed and going through these tests. You could have gave it to them. But for you to give something you thought was good, and it is something good, but they're not ready for that. They will be in time to come, just not now. When that stuff happens, we're held responsible for that, and we find ourselves behind bars because we should have known better. We should have had the foresight to see that they weren't ready for this, right? That applies in a lot of things in life. All right. Such then was Shalam and her example before the world of the Father's kingdom on earth. And that right there is the end of the history of Shalam. Okay, so now it's hopping back to, okay, so that Shalam began in chapter 'Yes, Holy Day, Freedom's Day. Oh, I'm in the wrong books. Chapter 4. Okay, so within the book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth is the book of Shalam. The book of Shalam is from chapter, let me write this down. Shalam is chapters 4, or IV, on page 715, all the way to chapter 23 on page 733. Right, so y'all can. New Mexico is 2 hours behind the East Coast. Sweet. Now the thing is, to get the information that we need to get from there, we actually have to be there. Somebody needs to be there. Anybody gonna be there? Anybody got access? Anybody know anybody there that's willing just to go to this little Library of Congress they got? First of all, ask them if you can make a copy. That's probably a long shot, but ask anyway. Ask if we can make a copy of this, because apparently this is the only these are like the only remnants of the original pennings or typings of Ohaspe on those first printing plates. John Newborough typed it out, but he went to a printer. This printer kept the original plates, and this is what they got under lock and key. You can come and you can look at it, but under supervision. If anybody got access, let us know. Go. If they don't let you make a copy, ask if you can take a picture. Like, don't leave no stone unturned. If not, ask if you can take notes. You need to know how much of the notes. Can you copy word for word, or can you just summarize? And are they going to check your notes, right? But if you go, I pray that the Father gives you photo vision where you recall everything word for word, because some people can actually do that, right? You can do that, and you can just like get back. You got to write it out soon so you don't forget it. But even if that don't happen, he can just download to us what was there. I don't know, but I feel like we need to do our due diligence, because I don't know, it might be somebody that might be having a good day. Yeah, go ahead. I'll make a copy for you. Matter of fact, give it here. We got a way where we can do that really fast. It'll take you 10 hours to do it, but it only take us a few minutes. All right, so I'm just saying, let's not leave any stone unturned, like, because now I'm really curious about this. Like, I'm going to keep going until I find out something. All right, y'all. Okay, so that was that Shalam is chapters 4 to 23. So let's go back to page 733. Oh, so we're going to finish with this. We're gonna finish with this today. Where we at? Oh, we at an hour. Yeah, we got a couple more books and we done. And we'll be starting over. This is amazing. It just blows my mind. We've read through this thick book. Yo, you know how long we've been reading it? 6 months. I looked at that the other day. I was like, we've been reading this for 6 months. Every day. Consistently. With the exception of the Sabbath. I'm just blown away how much we cover. Don't listen. Better not nobody ever complain if you got a thick resource, thick book to read. If it ain't over, matter of fact, we ain't gonna include the glossary because we ain't gonna read the glossary, right? Everybody gonna read it on their own time. If you got a book that's anything less than 768 pages, y'all shouldn't be doing any kind of complaining. Just get in there and get it done. Break it up. Do a chapter a day or however you want to break that up, but you can get through it, right? All right, so next chapter. Chapter XXIV, which is chapter 24, page 733. These are the records of the sea chiefs of the Father's kingdom. Jehovah separated the people, the Uzians on one hand and the Faithists on the other. And he said unto the Uzians, because I called and ye came not, because ye said, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, and ye put not forth a hand in my behalf, because ye saw the multitude going after intoxicating drink and smoke and opium, because ye rose not up saying, stay thy hand, Satan, but shirked, granting licenses unto these sins, and ye have become a polluted people, giving to drunkenness and to smoking and to all manner of dissipation, each one casting the blame on others and hiding himself in self-righteousness, thus opening the doors of your houses of debauchery as a temptation to the young. Behold, I am risen in judgment against you. My holy angels shall withdraw from your cities and from your places of worship and from your government and your lawmakers and rulers, for they have profaned me, making laws and granting licenses to carry on evils knowingly and willfully for policy's sake, hoping for personal favor and gain. For they knew that what was not good for one person was not good for a nation. So right down there, deep in the shanana, right? Everybody, all of us. For they knew that what was not good for one person was not good for a nation, and that whatever sin indulged in would soon or late bring its own punishment. And they said, we derive a large revenue from the duties and licenses for these iniquities, thus hoping to justify themselves by compounding themselves. And I said unto them, a revenue thus received shall be expended in prisons and almshouses and shall not be sufficient. Oh, wow. And I said unto them, a revenue thus received shall be expended in prisons and almshouses and shall not be sufficient, because ye granted licenses and polluted the people. Behold, the pollution shall more than balance the revenues. The criminals and paupers shall be a greater burden than though ye receive no revenue. Behold, I show unto you that as an individual could not sin against me without soon or late becoming answerable unto me, I showed ye also that the same responsibility and result would befall a nation or a people in like manner. For which reasons, and because of your evasions of my commandments, I called unto my God and Lords and my holy angels, saying, waste not your time and labor more with the Uzians, nor answer ye their prayers when they call on my name. And though their chief rulers and lawmakers be in the throes of death, and they call, saying, O Jehovah, heal thou our chief magistrate, ye shall not go unto them, nor do them service more. For they have become a conceited people, saying, there is no God, and Jehovah is as void as the wind. Because ye shall let them, behold, ye shall let them go their way. Their cities shall become full of crime, for angels of darkness shall come amongst them, and no city shall be safe from theft, murder, and arson. And vagabonds shall travel in the country places, stealing and robbing and murdering. And their great men shall take bribes, and their judges shall connive with sin. and the innocent shall be confined in madhouses. Ain't that what they do? They take the people that speaking the truth, call them kooks, and lock them up, or try to discredit you in all ways possible. And we ain't talking about the ones that's really out there with the kookery, right? We ain't talking about them. And their great men shall take bribes, and their judges shall connive with sin, and the innocent shall be confined in madhouses, and justice shall depart away from them. The employee shall pilfer and steal from his employer, and the employer shall hire others to look after those in his employ. But all things shall fail them, for I will make them understand I am the first principle in all things, and that I am justice, and that I am purity. And whoso raiseth a hand against justice, purity, virtue, wisdom, and truth, also raiseth his hand against me. I made the way of life going up like a mountain. Whoso turneth aside or goeth downward shall ultimately repent of his course, and he shall retrace his steps. To a nation and a people, and to a government of a people, I am the same. Righteousness shall be first and foremost of all things. Their governors and lawmakers shall be made to know this. When they were a monarchy, I held the king responsible. Behold, when I gave unto the multitude to govern themselves, behold, I also gave responsibility unto them. And they sought not to make laws for righteousness, and they sought not to make laws for righteous government unto the whole, but sought to favor certain cliques of iniquities, and to make laws to protect them in evil manufactories, and for traffic in tobacco and opium and alcohol. And no man more sought to be a governor or a lawmaker for the good of the people, or to serve me, but he sought office for profit's sake and vainglory. Now therefore my holy angels went away from them, and no more answered their prayers. And the righteousness of the first days departed away from them, and they became a nation of money getters and servants of mammon.
I know
And
that, right? Money getters. Yes, sir.
And I bless, you probably should be listening, money getter.
See, that's what I desire at this moment, so I can have freedom. Not for no selfish reasons of money. I don't care about it. I myself just want freedom. And the fact that y'all can go to Hawaii, then I'm gonna need that.
And you are granted your freedom, son.
How am I getting that freedom? I don't got no money.
Listen, I'm trying to read. Verse 47. Let me go back up. Verse 47. But when I gave unto the multitude to govern themselves, behold, I gave also responsibility unto them. And they sought not to make laws for righteous government unto the whole, but sought to favor certain cliques of iniquities, and to make laws to protect them in evil manufactories, and for traffic in tobacco and opium and alcohol.
And is that America today?
And no man more sought to be a governor or lawmaker for the good of the people, or to serve me, but he sought office for profit's sake and vainglory. Now therefore my holy angels went away from them, and no more answered their prayers. And the righteousness of the first days departed away from them, and they became a nation of money getters and servants of mammon. And I blessed not their marriages, nor their households, and their sons and daughters respected not their fathers and mothers. For as the fathers and mothers respected not me, so came disrespect and misery upon them. Y'all better highlight that. Whoo. The Father saying, what goes around comes around. Let me just read that again. Let me just go back up. Let's go back up to 47.
I just feel like this right here, this book right here, just explains morals.
You took a power nap. We glad you back, sis. Zay got here first. What you say, Jamal?
I'm gonna be honest, I never felt a need to really read this type of stuff, for the simple fact that I always thought it was just explaining this is common sense and morals.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. History as well, just all that and everything you like really need to know. But like,
so what you're saying is you don't feel like there's a need to read this? Or?
I mean, not that. Of course I'm gonna come read it when I have time to.
Well, you stay right here since you're here. Verse 47, page 734. But when I gave unto the multitude to govern themselves, behold, I also gave responsibility unto them. And they sought not to make laws for righteous government unto the whole, but sought to favor certain cliques of iniquities, and to make laws to protect them in evil manufactories, and for traffic in tobacco and opium and alcohol. And no man more sought to be a governor or lawmaker for the good of the people, or to serve me. But he sought office for profit's sake and vainglory. Now therefore my holy angels went away from them, and no more answered their prayers. And the righteousness of the first days departed away from them, and they became a nation of money getters and servants of mammon. And I blessed not their marriages nor their households, and their sons and daughters respected not their fathers and mothers. For as the fathers and mothers respected not me, so came disrespect and misery upon them. And their sons and daughters became profligates and idlers, growing up for no good under the sun. Dang. He just called them worthless. And their son, yeah, it's hitting you a little bit differently down in your shanana, ain't it, son? Spoke too soon? Keep listening. Let me go back to 50. Oh, come back, come on. Verse 55. I'm gonna go to 54. No. Let's go back to the money getters that you like. Okay, verse 53. And they became a nation of money getters and servants of mammon, and I blessed not their marriages nor their households. And their sons and daughters respected not their fathers and mothers. For as the fathers and mothers respected not me, so came disrespect and misery upon them. And their sons and daughters became profligates and idlers, growing up for no good under the sun, depending on their wits to work out a life in sin and luxury. And whoso married, peace came not to them, but contention and jealousy and bitterness of heart. And their offspring fell in the grades, becoming outcasts and paupers and criminals. And husbands and wives cried out for divorcement on all hands. And the lawmakers granted them and favored them, but lo and behold, the evil multiplied on the earth. I pitied and cried out unto them, saying, Ye may make laws forever, but my kingdom cometh not by the road of man's laws. Except ye turn about and begin anew, there is no help for you under the sun. But they would not hear me. Then I sent my angels unto them, teaching them the same things that were taught of old, amongst which were, as ye bind yourselves on earth, so shall ye be bound in heaven. As ye live on earth, serving self only, even so in a selfish heaven shall ye enter my worlds. But they denied my angels and abused my seers and prophets. In their own self-esteem, they set themselves up to judge me, saying, There is no all person. There is nothing save certain natural and divine laws, and they are dumb, like the wind. They see not, nor do they hear. Then I called out over the earth, saying, The time of my kingdom is come. Now is the time of my reign amongst mortals. And those that had faith came, and behold, they have built unto me. I have a new people on the earth. Again, I called to my God and to his angel host, saying, Behold, I have separated the wheat from the chaff. I have divided the sheep from the goats. Go ye unto those that serve me in the practice of my kingdom, for they shall become the chief people in all the world. They shall rejoice and prosper in all things. They shall sing songs of gladness. Their sons and daughters shall be an honor unto them and a glory in my household, because they seek to serve me by practicing good works with all their wisdom and strength. Now you judge the information. Next chapter, chapter XXV, or chapter, which is also chapter 25, page 734. This rule I made in all my work. This rule I made in all my works, said Jehovah. When I separate the people, the good go away out from amongst the evil, even as I drew the Israelites out of Egypt. And whoso go out, prosper in my hand. I make them an everlasting people. But those that remain go down in destruction, and they become unknown upon the earth. Their great men are forgotten, and their wisest men lose case in the histories of 1,000 years. Behold, these things I have made unto the generations of this earth. Now, when I separated the Phaethists and the Uzians in the Cosmine era, I sent angels warning them. I said unto them, Flatter not yourselves that man is all wisdom. I say unto you, I am with the righteous. Might shall not triumph through wrongdoing. Behold, a judgment shall come upon this people. When I began to call them, my chosen shall come and found my kingdom, and they shall come faster and faster every year. And after every year is reference letter F.
Did you tell them about Hawaii?
Hmm?
Did you tell them about Hawaii?
What about Hawaii?
Their unity?
Yes, I did.
I'm be honest. That will put peace. That will bring peace to my grave if I ever see that going worldwide. I'm being so serious.
We seeing little bits and pieces of it. It's growing. It's happening in the process of time.
Actually, you want to know what's funny?
Biden, funny little self, might be.
Let's hold all the presidential comments and all this stuff
Oh, well,
till after. Okay.
it might be, yeah, but that always happens. This is
It
historic.
doesn't matter, but our economy is going up. We seem to still always stay afloat, even when they say the worst is happening in the world.
Oh yeah, I know that, but it's like
The
everything
Father
that's
keeps
playing
us.
out. Like, listen to people that do stock. Listen to them and actually, because people that do stocks, they know a lot more than everybody else.
Yeah, because they're following trends and looking at data, looking at history, the forecast, and see how it's gonna go in the future. They recognize it.
There's a funny thing. They said.
Can this wait? Because this is all off the subject, son. Thank you. Bronze yoke.
You want Cheez-Its?
Shalom, brother. Okay, on page 736, and y'all, we're gonna finish reading this chapter and this last chapter, which is chapter 26, because this is it. This is the end of the book, right? The references is right here.
Wait,
you only
what?
had to go one page over.
Yeah, end the book. Oh,
No, the end of this. We're gonna read the book of discipline and then the book of Aranathan.
That's what I need.
I think it's the book of discipline, the book of Aranathan is all we got left. And the book of Aranathan is actually appendix, son. And we done. We starting over. Where you Ohaspe? Well, you gonna be at work, but you know
This is the heaven or earth.
just it's a compilation of both, right? They tell us about both of them. All right. F on page 736 says the phrase when I began to call them, well, it's in quotes. When I began to call them could be interpreted to imply that this societal transformation during the Cosmon season will arise intuitively and spontaneously amongst a substantial portion of the general population of the world through the Creator's direct inspiration upon them, and not because they have read, not read, or even been aware of any particular book or even as follows of any particular teaching, creed, or sect. That's kind of like what I was saying, right? We're talking about shalom. Shalom is within us, right? It's not going to be founded over here and founded over there. It's going to be all over the world. And the Father is waking up his children like sporadically all over the world. Like shalom is going to be founded over this. This is what I understand as I'm reading through. Shalom is not going to be set off over here. You go down here, you get about 20 minutes, you can make a left. And just keep on going for like 3 more hours, and shalom is going to be no. That's not my understanding. Shalom is going to be worldwide, continents over, all whatever where their people are. Shalom will be happening. It's going to be an inward thing, and it's just going to flow outward. That's my understanding of this.
Everybody forgets about that whole little. There's black, white, and all that, and we could finally just be like, oh,
Yeah. None of that gonna
Oh
matter,
my God,
right?
I love
None of
to
that
see
gonna matter. It's really not, because we all brothers and sisters, right? Some people can't get past that part, but that's okay, right? That's okay. You still in kindergarten, that's all right, right? We was there too, but keep on growing, keep on accelerating, get higher life,
I
right?
think that has something to do with pride, because I've realized when you tell people you're not important, they get so hurt. I'm telling you, they get so hurt.
Why would you tell somebody that? Like, I mean, I get what you're saying though. You're not that important. I get what you're saying. Can I finish reading?
That's not.
Shebrew. That's exactly what I believe. We're going to get this revelation even without Ohaspe, right? Because this can be contained. This is contained within the book. Can our Father be contained? Absolutely not. And we are spirit of His spirit, Why he need a book? He don't need a book. He's never needed a book. He only needed a book for those who were ignorant that they were spirits themselves. Maybe I need to get them some kind of prop that they need to to create a movie and to get them thinking, right? But for us that know, we don't need no book. We can talk to our Father directly. He just down, right? That's what he do. He don't need no book. But this is a prop to help others, right? But, hold on, we're gonna finish. Let me read some of y'all comments.
Something I want to see is them making an animated film or animated
Right,
show.
Key? Look, these be the first links for Shalam or Salam, right? Shalom community everywhere. Look, Stephen said, you know how sometimes you get up and you just feel good, even if there's pain within yourself and those around you. In spite of it all, I still give praise to the Creator. That's how I'm feeling. Yes and amen. Right. Tabitha, shalom, sis. Oh yeah, Angela. I just saw your. Hold on. You could have just left this comment a while ago. You was talking about down in New Mexico. We just need to do some networking on Mexico contact. Yeah, I'm sure we can find somebody. Well, we ain't gotta take a trip because if need be, I'm be like, babe, we gotta go to New Mexico. He gonna be like, babe, what for? I'll be like, because we just gotta go to a library. He be like, here you go. We're going to see the libraries all over the world.
I'm gonna be honest. I've started to grow a liking to reading now. I'm not even gonna cap, and I see why.
Look, I just really hope we can come past somebody that's there because we gotta search this out. Mick, thank you for coming back. I know you say you've been here for a while. You just don't comment all the time. I want to bring up something when we get done. Make not possible to understand the Father fully as human to weak a mind. Plus, you're not supposed to know everything. I mean, I get that. I kind of agree with that because we're constantly growing. We're not perfect, right? But since we're here, I'm gonna finish this. But let's bring up a point, right? Okay. So when people come, and this is referring to the other day when Mick was asking a question or two, right? So I know sometimes people ask uncomfortable questions, but there are some questions that just kind of need to be brought to the forefront because everybody has different perspectives of things. Our light that we have, our highest lights may be different from one another. Some may have more information, or some may have another perspective of the information. Just look at the debates that we're having, right? Case in point. Look at the debates. There are people who have come to Ohaspe researching the author and all the shenanigans, and everything they're saying is absolute truth, right? Even with them being mad and trying to tell people don't read it, because if you look at it, what they think they're doing in their eyes, and I would do the same thing had I approached Ohaspe in the manner that they did. They're also sick of the crap. I mean, the majority of them, they're sick of the crap. They're sick of being lied to, right? So if at all possible, they want to protect their brothers and sisters as well, right? But those of us have come in from another perspective, and we've actually gone into the information and tasted to see, okay, this is good. This won't kill us. Let me share it. We want to share it. And they're like, nope, we researched into that. Nope, don't y'all go over there. It's trash. It's going to kill you. Stay away. There's another ploy of massa to get it, but the facts that they're bringing out is true. But I can say some of the facts, the way they present them, I call it unauthorized cherry picking, because some things you can't state emphatically without getting all the information and looking at it together before you make those emphatic statements, right? Because things are being taken out of context, like a brother did in one of the I think it was Sanetta's video. The dude with the snake around his neck. I forget his name. He pulled a scripture out of Ohaspe, and from his perspective, it would seem to be true. But from the perspective of those of us who've actually read through it, we immediately knew that what he said was completely taken out of context. Like, what in the world? How did you why would you put? You just explained that wrong. That has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. So when people ask questions, I would like, right, those of us who are growing, not to snap at them, bite their heads off, right? Simply look at the question, because they could come from a perspective of listening. Hey, look, this they done told me to throw my guards up. I got to be careful, right? But I know some of y'all, I love some of y'all. And, even if I don't know none of y'all, I'm thinking that this is dangerous. I want to try and warn y'all. And every unsuspecting person in the chat, that's the perspective they're coming from. We have to be aware of that. When we're aware of that, don't snap at them and automatically just block them. And, I don't really want to see that happen here, right? Listen to what they're saying. If I see the question, I'll address it. If I don't know, I'm gonna let you know. I ain't got that far. I don't even really know. Let's work through this together. But if somebody knows, feel free, by all means, answer. Now, if somebody's getting belligerent, this is a little housekeeping, right? Then we're gonna go back to this. If somebody's getting belligerent, and they can't get too belligerent in my comment section nor on my comments, because I set up in Ohaspe, it has settings to where you can block certain things from your channel. So I believe I blocked all the curse words. I blocked all that. So even if somebody going off and they post it, it won't show, right? So it's some precautions and stuff that I've taken to kind of keep it down to a minimum. But some people know how to get really crafty with words to hit you right deep down in your shana and be that nasty nice, right? You gotta be mindful of that. But if ain't nobody doing that, and if they're doing that, those who got the wrenches, don't just immediately block them. Time them out. Time them out. I think you can time them out for like 60 seconds or something like that. But if they see they've been timed out, and they'll see that they've been timed out because it'll let them know you've been timed out. If they really want to come and start a bunch of crap, as soon as they waiting for their timer to get down to 0 so they can get back in there. If they do it again and they're still continuing with that same train of thought, you can mute them, right? But don't block them, right? Only block those who come in here putting porn links and stuff, right? Because if somebody asks a question, and sometimes typing, the way you ask stuff, it comes across wrong. We can't really understand the tone. And some people type in all caps, so it look like they yelling or got an attitude. Let's not do that. Let's look at the question and try and understand. Because if somebody was truly asking a question and not like, I'm sick of all y'all, they ain't doing that. They're gonna come back and they're gonna say, first of all, hey, why was I muted, or why was I timed out? By them saying that, it's an indication that they could have been what they thought was asking a legit question to anybody, because they just not understanding what's going on here, right? So it's incumbent upon us to be able to look ahead and see those things. And what, 300? She I ain't calling no names. She said, I'll try to stop biting, Sissy Pam. And I get it. We want to protect our brethren and sisters, but we all brothers and sisters, and we're all coming from different angles, different backgrounds. We all trying to understand this, right? Everybody's trying to filter through the information. And up until this point, Ohaspe has really gotten a bad rap. And I kind of expect all of this. So if we expect that, let's just kind of show some grace to people who are coming in. Like I said, my people who got wrenches, don't block them. But if anybody they coming in here posting porn links and stuff like that, everybody you can click report, because I think if 3 people report you, it'll automatically block you from the channel. So anytime you see a porn link, and we haven't had that in a while, look, knock on wood, because they really are annoying. Just every time you see it, and don't think, somebody else will get it. Everybody, when you see everybody, hit report and click porn, and it'll automatically delete it. Because if at least 3 people do that, it'll block them from the channel altogether. That's not the type of people we're trying to draw, right? Those who really got questions, and even if they're hard questions, just like the ones that's bringing up everything about John Newborough, let them talk, let them ask the questions, because we'll learn from each other. They may ask a question that we may not have necessarily made clear, or we may not even know it's clear. Let's all work together, right? Okay, Mick said, so, hold on, let me go back up. I went to Hebrew Israelite channel first time. I said one comment, the guy said, Mick, shut it or send me. I said, oh, I'm not allowed to ask anything. He said, you need your Hebrew name, Mick. He said, you need your Hebrew name, Mick. I said, my name's Michael, laugh out loud. Then I blocked. Yeah. I'm sorry that you experienced that, right? And that's happened to me a couple of times too, just like really asking questions, trying to figure out what people, and they just automatically take offense, right? You got to realize everybody's waking up. Everybody been dealt garbage, and we didn't come across all kinds of lies and misleadings and stuff. And we really here, we just trying to sift through all the garbage. We really are, right? So let's show one another some grace. Let's not bite each other's heads off, right? And if it's like a serious question and you don't think somebody's taking you seriously, be like, really, this is a serious question, brothers and sisters. Like sometimes if you temper it with brother or sister, people kind of tone that fire down a little bit. Like, oh, bro, oh, let me go back. Hold on, let me reread what they asked. Oh, I read too fast because I was ready to go in up because, you know, sometimes we read too fast and it's the tonality with typing sometimes is off and we misunderstand one another. So let's just, you know, we want to help each other grow here, right? I don't want this to be a channel where mud is being slung and, oh, if you want a good comedy session, go here. I mean, hopefully you get a good comedy session because hopefully I can share this with humor, but only in that fashion where it's not being degrading to anybody or talking about anybody. Like we want to help one another grow, right? Okay, so now we got that out the way, right? Okay. I love y'all. I love all of y'all. I really do. Let's finish reading this. We had an hour and 31 minutes. So we'll be done in like a few minutes. Okay. I stopped at F. Page 735, when chapter 25, you know what? Just let me start over. Let's just start over. Chapter 25, page 734. We was only on verse 9. This rule I made in all my works, saith Jehovah. When I separate the people, the good go away out from amongst the evil, even as I drew the Israelites out of Egypt. And whoso go out, prosper in my hand. I make them an everlasting people, but those that remain go down to destruction, and they become unknown upon the earth. Their great men are forgotten, and their wisest men lose caste in the histories of 1,000 years. Behold, these things I have made known unto the generations of the earth. Now, when I separated the Phaethists and the Uzians and the Cosmine era, I sent angels warning them. I said unto them, flatter not yourselves that man is all wisdom. I say unto you, I am with the righteous. Might shall not triumph through wrongdoing. Behold, a judgment shall come upon this people. When I began to call them, my chosen shall come and found my kingdoms, and they shall come faster and faster every year. And the Uzians shall fall into iniquity more and more every year. And now behold what hath been. The prince of devils came upon the Uzians, saying, think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. And what was the first place we heard that? That was in the New Testament. That came from the lips of Jesus, right? Or Yeshua, however, whatever, right? Listen. And now behold what hath been. The prince of devils came upon the Uzians, saying, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. I come to set man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother. Now therefore, when my angels went in behalf of my kingdom, behold, the prince of devils did invade the places of the ungodly. And whoso received my angels and practiced righteousness were fallen upon by the emissaries of the prince of devils and unmercifully treated with curses and tortures. But I called the righteous hence, and they built unto me my kingdom. And I said unto the Uzians, let this be a testimony unto you of the power of the Almighty. Ye go about building ships of war and harbors for defense with torpedoes and with all manner of wicked inventions. But I say unto you, this nation, this government, and this people shall not be attacked in the places ye build. It is within. Ain't that what I said? Let me go back. Listen, let me go back up. Verse 15. Now therefore, when my angels went in behalf of my kingdom, behold, the prince of devils did invade the places of the ungodly. And whoso received my angels and practiced righteousness were fallen upon by the emissaries of the prince of devils, and unmercifully treated with curses and tortures. But I called the righteous hence, and they built unto me my kingdom. And I said unto the Uzians, let this be a testimony unto you of the power of the Almighty. Ye go about building ships of war and harbors for defense with torpedoes and with all manner of wicked inventions. But I say unto you, this nation, this government, and this people shall not be attacked in the places ye build. It is within, for the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? So it don't matter that you're building. Wherever we go, we taking it because it's in us. We are it. We are the living shalom. For I will draw away the righteous and none but rogues. Hold on. It is within. For I will draw away the righteous, and none but rogues shall accept your great offices. And this matter shall grow upon you in the way of evil, declining in virtue more and more every year. Look therefore at your grade, judge ye the words of the Almighty. My hands fashion the signs of the times. As the hirer this day hireth one man to watch another, even so shall it come unto you in the great offices of your government. By force and might ye shall hope to overcome the prince of devils, but ye shall fall, but ye shall fail. And in proportion as ye go down in corruption, even so shall the faithers go away into my kingdoms. Last chapter. That was really good, y'all. So, and that's one of the major stumbling blocks, that the actual place of shalom, that's one of the reasons why I failed, because they took it to build a literal kingdom. I mean, it will be literal, right? But they tried to put it in one place, and it should be all over. In shalom, it starts within, right? And the community of shalom begins in your very own household. And as you grow and shalom and peace grows within and without through your family members, shalom spreads throughout the earth. That's what John Newborough got it wrong, right? We don't want to do it that way. Shalom starts here and now with every one of us, right? Chapter 26, or chapter XXVI, page 735, and this is the last chapter of book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth, and it's 24 verses. This is so good, y'all. Look, the sea chiefs said, and Jehovah prospered the new kingdoms as they were called in mockery, for they were not kingdoms, but the opposite. Jehovah had said, a republic cannot follow the highest light. It followeth the majority, and a majority is and was and ever shall be the lesser light. Fritz, you said, okay, Mom. Okay, so after lesser light, it's the letter G. Flip over to the next page, and G is the last reference for this book. And it says, and it's on page 736. A democratic republic, like our inspired founding fathers bequeathed to America, is as good a governing system as one can have at this time, flawed though it may be. But those who live in a society that embraces democracy may have difficulty grasping that a democratic republic cannot follow the highest light. A democracy, in theory, attempts to consider the opinions of the entire population while bending to the will of the majority. This is certainly an improvement on tyranny or any other alternatives currently available. But within the body of an entire population will be found the corrupting influences of the lowest common denominator. Decisions do not necessarily arrive through altruistic soul searching to find the highest light. If the democratic process is allowed to be exercised on a given issue, decisions arrive through consideration of each individual's self-interest, which are eventually averaged together with the self-interest of the whole. Selfish considerations will seldom culminate in a policy that manifests the highest light on a given subject. Only occasionally does the highest light, which typically resides only within a small minority, manage to persist as an ideal long enough to be eventually accepted by the majority. Had such persistence not occurred with the issue of slavery, for example, freedom would not have been permitted, though angelic assistance in that case did play a major role. First time, shalom, shalom. All right, we're on page 75, chapter 26. And that reference was verse 2, so I just start over at 1. chapter XXV out, or chapter 26. The sea chief said, and Jehovah prospered the new kingdoms as they were called in mockery, for they were not kingdoms, but the opposite. Jehovah had said, a republic cannot follow the highest light, it followeth the majority, and the majority is and was and ever shall be the lesser light. Therefore, a republic is not the all highest government, and since only the all highest can triumph in the end, behold, and interpret ye what shall come to pass. The sea chief said, but many understood not. Nevertheless, the Faithists had little in common with the Uzians. The Faithists established a reciprocity between different colonies, for some were suited to agriculture and some to manufactures, and they exchanged produce, so there was neither buying nor selling between them. And it came to pass also that as some of the colonies were situated to the south, where it was warm, and some to the north, where it was cold, so the people went and sojourned in any place suited unto them, continuing their membership wherever they went. Now thus it did come to pass in Jehovah's kingdom on earth, man was without a government, Now thus it did come to pass in Jehovah's kingdom on earth, man was without a government, such as man's government. And this was the next higher condition that came up after republics. The angels of Jehovah, perceiving this was coming to pass, said unto the Faithists, bother not your heads much about passing new laws for the Uzians, neither take ye any part in the government, whether it doeth this or that. For many men shall rise up, saying, if the government would make a law of peace, or if the government would prohibit the traffic and the manufacture of this curse or that curse, but we say unto you, all things shall fail. Trust ye not in the ungodly to do a godlike matter. The societies shall fail. The peace society shall become a farce. The prohibitory society shall be lost sight of. Even the churches that profess peace and temperance will not embrace peace and temperance. They will fraternize with liquor traffickers and with colonels and generals of war for sake of policy. The boast of Uzians shall be, this is a home for all peoples. But nevertheless, even in the midst of their boastings, they shall make prohibitory laws to the contrary. For they are fallen under the lower light, none can turn them about the other way. Under the name of liberty, they shall claim the right to practice ungodliness. But ye shall come out from amongst them and be a separate people in the world. And that's not new to us, right? The Father has always told us that. Come out from among them. Thus it came to pass, the people were admonished by God and his angels, and by Jehovah speaking in the souls of mortals. And those that were of the Spirit believed, but those that were of the flesh disbelieved. Wider and wider apart, these two people separated, and the believers, having faith in Jehovah, practiced righteousness, rising higher and higher in wisdom and purity. But the disbelievers went down in darkness, were scattered and lost from off the face of the earth. Thus Jehovah's kingdom swallowed up all things in victory. His dominion was over all, and all people dwelt in peace and liberty. And that, my beautiful people, is the end of the book of Jehovah's kingdom on earth. All right, y'all, this was good. This was really good. Really good. All right, y'all, let me put my page numbers in here. I actually thought I would be done with this a whole lot sooner than I am. I didn't realize we'd be almost going on 2 hours again today, simply because what we had left to read was so short when we picked back up. But you know, Mommy, it is what it is. Yes.
Just call me Roblox.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Roblox so y'all can listen. I'm gonna put Roblox on speaker so y'all can listen to them. They not just gonna give y'all anything free, but I'm gonna call like y'all asked me to do, and I'll let y'all listen. I know what a lot of people said, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna let y'all see for yourself. You can't in the video with your face looking like that. Yeah, no, that's gross. Throw that away and go check yourself in the mirror. I'll call you. I'm gonna let you end it. All right, y'all. So 736 chapter. Hold on.
My lips. For
Get down to it. I'm not ready to end it just yet. Give me a minute. Get down, girl. Get down.
There's a little bit more. You might try to take the whole thing for me.
Okay.
A little.
All right, y'all. So the next book we start is the book of discipline, and it's pretty short. And I kind of read ahead just a little bit in here. And it's good. It's really good. I mean, all of it has been really good. I've had very few questions about what I've read through here and testing the information. It's like when you hear truth, it don't matter where truth come from, right? It hits you in a certain place down in your Shalam where your spirit agrees with truth, right? And you know it to be the truth. I haven't really found anything that there are some things that I don't understand that I found, right? And this is the first time reading through it. But for the most part, I haven't found anything in here that I would disagree with or that is in direct opposition to what we learned, like the true principles, like in the Psalms and the Proverbs. None of this is in opposition to what we've already learned, even through scripture. But we know that a lot of things have been tampered with. The KJV Bible, the Holy Bible, 66 books, it's been tampered with, things been taken away, added, or whatever. And even this mentions that that even though all what was comprised and labeled the Holy Bible, all of those is not words of our Creator Jehovah, Yah, Jah, whatever term you like best. My most intimate term is most holy, right? Although the whole thing hasn't been written by him, there are bits and pieces of his truth that have been added in there, which is what resonates with us. And a lot of times that light is calling out to the other light we're connecting with. So that light has been deep down in my Shana for many, many years from that. And so when I came over here, it just adds to that light. The light connects with light, right? Light connects with light, and light connects with like, right? So I know we started like let's just see what it is, right? Because we didn't read through some of everything, right? We didn't even read through the Anunnaki Bible. I know I lost quite a few people reading today. I'm like, look, everything going on, everything going on the table. Yes. No, don't drink out my straw. Get your own water. You got your own cup. You can have some, but don't drink after me. Cause you sniffing and stuff. I don't need that happening. Get your own cup.
Oh, I can't get a cup over there.
Okay, well, Tootie, get another cup. Get another cup. Okay. So yeah, y'all. I mean, as I haven't really found anything that I disagree with deception, like I said, with the book of Sci-Fi, and we talked about that the last day we was here, and some of the stuff I came across, some of the questions that I had that I didn't bring out because I was like, let me get through the end of it, because I still might be missing some information. But some of the things that I've been finding out, some of my questions were answered. So we're gonna also tackle that as well, right? Because we want to make sure, just like the scripture's been toyed with, we want to make sure what has been toyed with here, we can separate truth from error, right? But for those things to pop out, we do really need to do a little bit of digging into John Newborough and some of the things he did. Not that it matters, but we need to be able to look and judge, separate truth from error, and just keep it simple like that, right? Because there's a lot of people coming in. It's like, hey, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? We can't go on telling people, hey, this is the truth. Just read it, without acknowledging the valid questions that they have about this, right? We need to answer those questions. All right, y'all. So, all right, y'all. So that's it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Tell Isaiah I said, come on.
Isaiah!
All right, beautiful people. I don't think there's any more questions. But yeah, remember, y'all, anybody in New Mexico, let us know. If you don't mind just heading over there to that little library. They say under supervision, you can look at it. So also ask them if you can FaceTime somebody. Ask them, can you phone a friend? If you can phone a friend, please let it be me. Right, so I just want to lay my eyes on it, or somebody like, I don't know, Selah or Cosmon or Susan B. Martina, I don't know, somebody, right? Somebody that can, help funnel the information myself. No, put it back. All right, y'all. So with that being said, what Isaiah, come on. Let's go ahead and end this, y'all. What we talking about? Oh, Kizzy. First of all, hey girl, hey. Look, we're talking about the original printing plates of Ohaspe that's being held in New Mexico in their like Congress library or whatever, their main library. But they'll let you look at it under supervision. So I was asking if anybody here watching, if they're in New Mexico, they know anybody in New Mexico that would be willing to go there and look at these plates. Listen, chill. Because it was a lot of stuff that was destroyed from John Newborough's work. But the printer, remember, it was channeled through typing, right? Or you can say he was inspired, or whatever term. A lot of people, they just like to use and they tell Ohaspe use channeling, right? But it's still happening. It happens for everybody, whether it's prophecy, the same exact thing is happening with prophecy when you speak it. It's the line of light connected to you. If your spiritual eyes were open, you would see, right? The Father is overshadowing you. He's speaking through you. Same exact thing, right? Written prophecy, typewritten. The New Age world like to call it channeling. Some people, Christian word, they can't get with the whole channeling thing because they look at channeling as like demonic, right? But it's a lack of understanding to me because you don't realize the same thing is happening with everybody. When you get there, it's a channel. It's a channel that we ain't gonna get into it, but all of us know that. If you don't stop, so but it has the printer that he took once he got done typing it out to get it in print. He went to a printer. The printer had the original plates of everything in the first writing because we know matter of fact, in here on Ohaspe, it tells you that he did not release everything with the printing of Ohaspe. Some things they kept private and separate. And that's understandable, knowing that John Newborough was a 33rd degree Mason, right? They like this whole secretive type thing where it's like only get this information when you were part of our clique. And so he was still kind of operating that even after the whole time, after he spent all them years, dedicating himself, and the Father just overshadowed him and you allowed the light, a higher light, to flow through him. He still tried to live. He tried to live the higher light that he got through these years of purification and stuff, and he still tried to mingle that with lower light, with what he learned in the Masonic rites and rituals and stuff, right? So that was a reason why he kept some of this sacred, and he changed. Guys, stop it. He changed some name. I think I got it right. He changed some names, took portions out just to kind of keep it for the secret brotherhood, right? So that's why I was like, I want to see the original plates because the original printer has the original with everything that's in there, and that they don't want just out there. I don't know why. Yeah, right, Fritz. Ezra, they love Ezra. Hebrew Brethren, everybody. Ezra, the same thing happened with Ezra, and Ezra did it. You can say he used the herbs of the field and stuff, flowers. Some people call it psychedelics or whatever, to get his channeling for the Bible that we currently use. Is called the Ezra Bible, right? But all of those things, and sometimes people like to cherry pick the information. They don't care that the one that they take a special liking to has been done the same way. We just don't like the way yours been done because you use the word channel. So yours is demonic, ours is not. Nanny boo boo, right? And that's their whole theory of going about arguing and stuff. And to me, like I was explaining the other day, that's the equivalent of my 19-year-old trying to argue with Bella, right? With their reason and how they're presenting it, it's like, Bella, because you acting like a child now. Let's really talk about this. So whereas we're coming, and for us to even stoop down to their level and argue with them, it makes us just as foolish as them. You argue with the silly, you're gonna be silly yourself, and you sure look silly. 19 years old arguing with a 6-year-old. You both is out of pocket. You both just need to stop it. Look, so But all right, y'all. Let's go ahead and end this. So that's what we was talking about, Kendrick. We was talking about those plates, and I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share it with y'all. I'm gonna give y'all exactly wheels because I'm gonna need to give y'all as much information as we can possibly have. Y'all might be taking a trip to New Mexico. I'm gonna give y'all exactly where to go. I'm gonna call them today. Holland girl. So about what they? My uncle said they're like 3 hours behind us. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till about noon because I got like an appointment to go to. But after that, I'm gonna try and call. And you know what? I'm ashamed to say I don't know how to dial an international number, right? So I'm gonna have to YouTube how to dial an international number. That's my truth. So I can call them and ask them about this. Here's what I'm gonna ask them, right? I'm gonna leave no stone unturned. I'm gonna ask them, do they have a electronic copy, and would they mind emailing it, or if you print it, even if I have to pay for it, what's the cost? I want it. Can I get it? How long is it going to take? We're gonna try them routes first before we send somebody in, or before I have to personally go myself. It's gonna be a little while before I go, but I'm gonna keep y'all updated. I need to see these plates. If they got them, I want to see them. Right? This is just me. If I know it's out there, now I got to get to it because we might be lacking information. Now that I know, he kept some stuff private and just
Mom, look.
Yes.
Look, Zay's right there, right?
Yes.
No, I'm right here, right?
Yes.
No's right here, right? No's big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zay's right there now.
Yes. Right. Very
And I'm
good.
right here.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and end this, beautiful people. You want to go? Look. We should all plan a trip and go.
No, don't
Storm,
actually
New
end
Mexico.
I ended in a 4.
Look. Yeah. Thank you for posting that, Fritz. And we had brought that up before, and I think it was Ancient Watchmen. Stop, wait a minute. It was Ancient Watchmen that brought that out first. That brought that to our remembrance. I said, stop. That the same thing happened. The Holy Bible that we all grew up and loved, right? The only thing that we had access to, it was compiled in the same exact way through channeling. Ezra, if you go and read it, and he put the reference, First Ezra chapter 14 verses 21 through 28. If I listen, I love the book of Ezra.
Isaiah.
If you depending on what you got, sometimes it's called third and fourth Ezra. But if you have a straight apocrypha, it's the first and the second book of Esdras. So stop, Isaiah. First and second Esdras, or because remember that book, it's a part of in the Holy Bible. They chopped it up. It should have been connected to the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. Ezra being the first book, which is why the third and fourth book of Ezra are first and second book of Ezra is labeled third and fourth. Some people want, okay, third and fourth, where's the first and second? Is in a regular Bible, Ezra and the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah should be called the second book of Ezra, right? So just in case you didn't know that, right? Okay. So read all of that, read it all together. But it shows you how it was channeled. And I believe it's more than those like 8-9 verses right there. Read the whole thing so you'll see how at each level that Ezra got more information, because it was a process. He started fasting, right? It was a whole process. That's why I got a lot of information about fasting. Ezra was doing the same thing, and at each level of information for higher light, they told Ezra to do a little bit more, right? Or just now, eat all the fruits of the field. Next, don't eat anything for these many days, and another light will come upon you. And that's how the scriptures were channeled or given to him, and he had them 5 fast writing scribes. As he spoke, as the information was channeled to him, he spoke and they wrote. Right?
Already, Mom. You can do this in the next video.
Jesus, okay. Is that how you
Sheesh. Look, okay. Y'all, look. Okay, hold on. I'm about to end it.
That shit ain't-
Mick says Islam says the Jew worship Ezra as God, but this was taken from the Sumerians who accused Jew of have. Hold on, let me read it again. Islam says the Jew worship Ezra as God, but this was taken from the Samaritans who accused Jews of having Ezra as a God. Now I've looked into, I mean, I can't fully say yeah or nay because The Quran I've kind of, not really gave a deep study into. So other people who've read it would be able to agree or disagree. I'm not sure about that, Nick. But yeah, so I can't really answer that or agree. First time said you were okay. Yeah, so first time said Mick is right. Yeah, I read that also. Okay. Set apart and all Ezra's books were destroyed during the Maccabees time. You're right. You're right. They call him Uzair. I probably said that wrong. But okay. All right, y'all. That's it. Because they just like, come on, end this. All right, y'all. So wait, no. Let me say peace. When I say peace, that's your cue to start pressing buttons. All right. I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. Hold on. I got to do this. Hold on. Wait. And I didn't even give the what you call it. Father, you are the best outcome of all possibilities available. Y'all, thank y'all for hanging out. It is Wednesday, October the 19th, 2022. Day 240 of year 4, reading through the books of the law and the prophets under the 4-year consecutive day count. Day 1259. Remember, those are consecutive days without the Sabbath. If we added the Sabbath counts in, we would be well into like, I want to say, like the 14 or 1500 days, right? So we read the rest of Book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth, which also has inside of it the Book of Shalam, and the last chapters were chapters 21 through 26 that we read, which can be found in the Big Blue book.
What is that?
On pages 731 to page 736. And when we get to the end of this, we had we took a poll earlier on whether we should read the index and the glossary to Ohaspe. Everybody said just start over, right? And everybody can read the glossary and the index on their own time. We all agree with that? All right. So, all right. Love you all. See y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early. Stop, Jeremiah.
The child is trying to sit on the counter.
Yeah, well, if you're down here in the morning, you will see that I allow it. So stop.
You shall not allow performing.
Jeremiah, stop. Yes, thank you. Yeah, page 731 to 736 is what we read today, kids. Yep. All right, y'all. So with that being said, I love y'all. See y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wait,
I'm sorry.
you gotta like see. Yeah, hold on.
It says it has been 1 hour up here.
Hold on, because you just ended Facebook. That normally don't happen. Jeremiah, let her come back in here. There was a malfunction and we still recording on Facebook, even after he ended it. And Facebook don't normally let you backtrack.
Cancel.
Jeremiah, let her go.
Peace.
Okay. All right, y'all. Mom, I see y'all later.
Peace.
Go ahead. Let Bella end the other one. Stop. Jeremiah, stop so I can end this. Don't. You just end this right here. Come on. You finish that one. Go ahead. End this one. Bye, y'all. Shenanigans don't stop. Ima, I'm going to call you in a few minutes.
Who's that? Who's Emo?